This is an introduction to website Thunkable. This website is a great website. This is an introduction to the website Thunkable. This is a great website where you can create apps using blocks of codes. It's really accessible for students and young people to learn to code and to create an app where you can then use it live in real time on the website, or you can even have a code linked to your phone. So I'm just going to quickly run through how this website works in relation to what we're going to do. You may have used this before, you may not. The website itself has loads of tutorials and it's really simple to kind of get your head around. It doesn't take much time. So I'll just run through everything you need to know for the workshop. So like I say, the website uses blocks of code to create apps, and some of the students might be familiar with this already. The level might be different between the class, but I think everything that they need to know for this workshop we provide them, and you can kind of follow along together, or they can do it themselves. It's totally up to them how you do it. The website itself has got different membership options, so you will need to create an account to use Thunkable, and there's different ways you can do this. So you could either create a school account that they all log into, or you separate them into different groups. But the problem with this now is that the free membership option only allows 3 projects. So we have 3 projects for this workshop. They're 3 different apps, 3 different healthcare problems, but they're all basically the same. So they're basically all doing the same thing, but just with a different healthcare focus. And this is okay, so you could divide your class into 3 groups, but it might just be a lot of people working on one computer essentially, or one project. So you can create duplicates of them and that's no problem, but you are only allowed 3 on the membership option. So you could create one school account, you could create multiple school accounts that they log into, or the students can create their own account. It's totally up to you how you see best to do this. But that is the only kind of limitation really at the minute. They recently changed the free membership option and limited it down to only 3 projects. So you've got the freedom to do this however you like. And now with the projects, there's only 5 screens per app on there now, which is again totally fine for the project we've got. It's just a little bit more limiting compared to what we were used to be able to do. So yeah, you've got the freedom to create how many accounts you like, and yeah, like I say, this workshop is the basis is there, the bones are there, the tasks are there, but you have the flexibility then to kind of do as much or as little as you want. We've set one specific task out for the students on the app, or if they have lots of experience, or if they want to take it further, you could remove all of the blocks of code that we already put in place, and the students can pre-program the app themselves. They can modify it or change it. It's totally up to you. You can kind of add on anything else you like. But I just recommend that you kind of familiarise yourself with Thunkable first. You like look at the apps and kind of know what to do so that you're there and available for the students to ask with any help. I'll jump over to the website now and show you how it works and everything you need to know going forward. When you create an account with Thunkable, this is the home screen that you will see. Like I said before, there's loads of tutorials on here as well that you can watch, and they'll do little demos too. But there's loads of other open source projects. So if you go on the left hand side to public gallery, and if you just search SMQB UOB, you will then find the 3 projects for this app. We've got a heart monitoring app, a diabetes app, and a mental health app. And like I said, all the apps are basically exactly the same. It's just they're designed with a different healthcare focus. So everything I say is applicable to all apps. So if I just go on the mental health app for now, it'll look like this because this is an app already created. So the first thing you'll do is go to the top right hand corner and just copy project. So this makes a duplicate onto your account then, and this won't edit the original version. This is your version to do as you please now. So this is what it looks like. At the top in the centre, you've got your name of the app, and you can edit this here. You can get rid of copy 1 if you like. And then it has 5 screens. We've got the home screen here. We've got a tracker mood and sleep, so you can track and record and monitor your sleep, your energy, and you can record it here live in the app, and your track log. So we limited it down now as we had to reduce some screens. You can take photos, and then you'll calculate your stress score. So the task we've designed for the students is to input their stress score that they calculated earlier on in the workshop, and then it will be color coded either red, orange, or green, with whether that refers to high, low, or no stress. So that will be their task for them, is to calculate and input their stress score and make it functional on the app. So the first thing you have is the design screen. So you've got a design screen and a block screen. The design screen basically does as it says. This is how you make the app look exactly how you want. So you can add in the buttons, you can add in text, images, and these are all on the left hand side. So at the bottom here you've got all the features you can add in, like buttons, labels, data viewers, switches, sliders, And then everything you put in is under this top corner here. So on our home screen, you've got all of the buttons and all the text we put in. On the track screen, you've got then all the other things we've put in. So on the left hand side is really where you store everything and you can add in any of the components. On the right hand side is where you can make the edits. So for example, if I click on the record button here, on the right hand side you can change the name, you can change the font, the colour of everything, and all that on the right hand side. So this is the visual design aspect of the app. Now if we switch over to the block tab, this is how you make the app actually functional and using the blocks and everything you need here. So if I just click on the home screen, for example, so the first thing would be to do is an example here at the top. This is a block which makes the button take photo functional. So you just use a when button take photo, and then you can click as well here because it has all the other features on this screen. And then when you click it, you can long touch down, all these different things. It sets the image to the photo taken with the camera. And likewise here on this block is when the calculate button is clicked, it puts in the stress score. So this is the app block which the students will be coding themselves. At the minute, just for as an example, it's coded and this is exactly what it should look like, and there's copies of this in the information pack so you know what the students should be aiming for. But when you download these apps, I'll have deleted this so the app is ready to go and it's having this missing piece within them that the students should do. So this is what it will look like, and you'll have copies of this so you know what it should look like. So this button here, it basically codes the stress score and it shows the value. So they will input their stress score into a data sheet stored within the app, and then they want to make it conditional. So if it's higher or lower than a number, turn it red. If it's higher than a number, turn it green. And if it's between values, turn it orange. So hopefully they'll understand the logic and things of this. But to actually do this, all you need is on the left hand side again, and they've divided all of the kind of blocks into different sections. So you've got control blocks, so you've got like navigate to, you've got your if or else blocks, you've got your logic blocks here, math, text, everything you need is on the left hand side here as well. And then for specific features on your screen, so for example the button calculate is here. So this is where you find the when button calculate, or the when these things refer to the calculate button. So you've got all of them here. So for example, you'd use the set button calculate background color to a color to set that color, the button of that color. So this is where you do all of that, and hopefully this makes sense. There's many tutorials as well on YouTube as well. The Thunkable website and YouTube channel has great tutorials. But we have got all the details written down and tasks so the students know exactly how to set this up itself. So this is how the blocks work, and you can take a look. All of them are coded and functional here. And like I say, if the students whiz through that and they want to do more, you can always delete some more of these on the other pages and get them to do these blocks themselves and kind of figure out how to code the other pages, or they can delete things and redesign the app totally, or create a new app like on a separate project. It's totally up to you, but you have the freedom to do that. So this is what it looks like, and this is what the students are aiming for. And the other key thing here now is about the data. So I mentioned that the data is going to be stored on data sheets. So if you go to the left hand side under design, you've got data. So when we designed this, you can link data sources to different things. So you can actually have Google Sheets, which is really useful. When I designed this, they were linked to Google Sheets, but when you duplicate it, obviously it's not going to link to my personal Google Sheet, because otherwise everyone would be changing that like all over the UK. So it actually converts it to a local source data table. So all the data that is going to be stored and input is on a local source now, but you can change this. You can input Google Sheets if that's easier for you as well, but the local data sources are really handy. So for example, all the information you put in the track will get stored on this local data sheet here. This is just an example numbers. I think that is a default here. However, what I learned recently with the local data sources is when you use the app and you input data, until you use it potentially on like a real life situation, it actually saves the data to your browser rather than importing it directly into this track data data sheet. So when they add in information in the track and they record data, they won't actually see it populate in this table because it actually just stores to your browser or your phone. So that is the only thing which is a bit, might confuse them a little bit, whereas if this was a Google Sheet, it would automatically update to the Google Sheet. I think it's just one of those funny little nuances with the local data source and different data sources. However, what they're going to be doing with the task is actually they're going to be changing the data source. So they will have calculated a stress score earlier in the workshop, and we want to put that onto the app rather than us inputting data into the app to be stored on a data sheet. We're going to be putting it in a data sheet so it shows on the app, and this is kind of representative of your smartwatch calculating a number, uploading it to like the cloud, and then the cloud uploading it to your app. So what they're going to do is they're going to go on the epilepsy stress score data sheet here, and again this is just an example, I think they default imported that information. So what they'll do here is they will import their stress score here in the first cell of stress score. So for example, if their stress score was 50, they will type it in here, and now they want to see if this will work on the app. And to actually use and test the app, on the top banner here on the right hand side you've got web preview and you've got test on live device. So you can actually test this on your phone. So there's a Thunkable app that they can download if you allow phones in class. You just download the app and then show on your phone a code, and you type that code into this web browser thing here, and then the app will show on your phone, and you can use the app on your phone and input all the data. It's really cool how it does that. But for now, just for testing, you can do a web preview. So this is how the app would work. So they've just inputted their stress score into the data sheet. So hopefully if you click calculate, this should work. So yeah, so it should show like this. And this shows that a stress score of 50 is high stress because it's red. Where if we go back to editing and then if we put a stress score of 200, for example, hopefully this will now, when we change it, show different. So yeah, it automatically updates, and a stress score of 200 is low stress. So this is what we want them to do. So we want them to code the blocks and make sure they code it correctly so it represents the threshold values and the scores that they calculated earlier in the workshop. So also as well, there's other functional things here. So for example, yeah, they can take a photo and that'll use if you've got a camera on your computers or on their phone, and it will upload a photo here. You can also track mood and sleep, like I said, so then you can click through and put in any information that you have, and you can put things like this and do this. And then if you save this, sometimes you'll have to kind of go back and click, and then it shows the data viewer here. So I didn't fill it all out, so it shows null. So this records here, but like I say, this information now, just because of the way the website and the local data sources work, this info will be stored to the browser. So if I click here, it's always going to be, it'll be shown here, but it won't actually be shown on the track data. It won't populate here. And if you want, if it's easier to understand and if it's easier to kind of work around, you can just replace these with Google Sheets, which Google Sheet track and a Google Sheet of epilepsy stress score. You can totally do that, and you just do that by creating a new data source, and you can connect your Google Sheets here. And if you did do that, you would just have to then change it so that your data source, for example, here on the, so when I click on this data viewer here, on the right hand side you've got your data viewer information, and you've got to make sure you connect the correct data source. So if you change to a Google Sheet, you would have to click here and click the Google Sheet, otherwise it will keep inputting the a different data source. And then you just also have to make sure that the blocks are correct again, because sometimes if you change a data source, you have to update these to make sure that it's getting the object from the correct data source as well. There's no need to do that, but if you wanted to, that is totally fine and up to you. And like I say, it's really easy to learn. The YouTube tutorials are really simple, and it makes things really, really clear, and it doesn't take a long time at all to kind of get your head around this. So this is the website and what they will do. All the apps are the same, I think essentially just different colours. And so you have the freedom to create more or add to this. There is only 4 screens on here, so there is freedom if you wanted to create another screen. You've got 1/5 screen available, so you could put information about the healthcare condition, for example, if you wanted to add info about that, if they were doing research on diabetes or mental health or heart health. So this is how it works. Hopefully this was useful. If there's anything you find missing, please get in contact, or I'm happy to explain. And yeah, I hope you enjoy.